Hi, this is Pepero, and the things we explore today are around Gen Z. You may be familiar with this phrase. However, not everyone could deeply understand it. So first, what is Gen Z? Generation Z, also known as Gen Z, iGen, or Centennials, is the youngest, most ethnically diverse, digitally native generation. They were born between 1997 and 2012, following millennials, also known as Gen Y. Most members of Gen Z are offsprings of Gen X. This generation has been raised on the internet and social media, with some of the oldest finishing colleges by 2020 and entering the workforce. By 2025, there will be 2 billion members of Gen Z globally. In Vietnam, there will be almost 15 million members. The coming of age Generation Z years falls on the new millennium. As we can see, Gen Z can easily be considered as a generation of breakthroughs. But before we dive into that, let's take a look at several important Gen Z traits. Gen Z is the most ethnically and racially diverse generation up to date. According to PEW Research Center, a slight majority of Gen Zers, about 52%, is white, 25% is Hispanic, 14% is Black, and 4% is Asian. Besides that, Gen Z is the best educated generation. They are more likely to be enrolled in college than Gen X or Gen Y. Moreover, they are digital natives, because Gen Z was born into a world of peak technological innovation, where information was immediately accessible and social media increasing ubiquitous. The least conservative, Generation Z considers itself more accepting and open-minded than any generation before it. Almost half of Gen Zs are minorities, compared to 22% of baby boomers, and the majority of Gen Z support social movements such as Black Lives Matter, transgender rights, and feminism. Last but not least, we strongly affirm that Gen Z is the generation of breakthroughs. Why? There are 4 reasons for this. First, when it comes to Gen Z, rules are meant to be broken. According to research from Unit Media Social Listening and Data Analytics platforms, Gen Z is the generation that lies to break the bank, not following the existing rules. Born in the era of economic integration, Gen Z has been absorbed in many different cultures. Gen Z, at this opening stage, is often confused between the old and the new, tradition and modern. Gen Z themselves will decide their path. First, these modern kids tend to express themselves and challenge the limits of old views of life. Second, we have the ambition to be challenged. This generation is always looking for an environment where you can reach your full potential and learn new things from your work and colleagues. Gen Z likes to challenge themselves, not only to learn, but this will inspire Gen Z to work. If working, Gen X puts family first, then the iGen wants to do the jobs that they are passionate about and develop their strengths. Third, we are likely to be Gen makers. This comes from the personality of Gen Z. Gen Z, considered as a young generation possessing a strong personality and high ego, does not want to be a trend follower, but can become a trend maker. They are always looking for something new, unique in every aspect. This generation is attentive, responsive, and open-minded, open to new trends. 4. We strongly desire to be independent and be true to yourself. Gen Z is independent, with Gen Z's age of access to a lot of information and diversity of cultures. This generation's mindset is quite open, influenced by the spirit of love yourself, be yourself. This is considered the generation that lives for themselves the most compared to previous generations. Gen Z depends on personal feelings, doesn't care much about old values or concepts, and knows what he loves and hates. And especially, they are not afraid to show and express it to everyone around them. With such a personality, not afraid to be different, and independent thinking, your future orientation will be decided by Gen Z. They are not influenced much by family or school. The influence of Gen Z, the first generation of true digital natives, is now radiating outward. Technology has given young people an unprecedented degree of connectivity among themselves and with the rest of the population. Perhaps snowflake will be the noun to best describe this generation, because each snowflake has a different shape, unique, not duplicated, but easily broken. Just like Gen Z, each young citizen of this generation is a color, a personality. They are always ready to show the differences.